moving. It's spiritual. It's tribal. Like, people really don't understand or realize how, like, just the depths of line dancing for our culture. And so I'm just joyful to see it back.
You know, it is, I guess you could say it's almost tribal.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's what people did, and organizations or different groups and tribes, they all did those various different dances and stuff to kind of identify who they are and that kind of thing. So it is something that's been going on for a while, and we ought to do more. My wife used to go out. She was religious with it, man. And you know what? The line dancers are religious with it. Those people who are really into that, man, they be really into it.
It's a lifestyle. It's not just, you're not just popping fans there a couple times a month. No, it is a lifestyle. But I think it's a brilliant, great lifestyle if that's the one you choose to do for your fitness outlet. It's fun. It keeps you moving. It has like this rhythm about it as well. So I just think it's spiritually, it's uplifting because you're joyful. You just doing a joyful workout routine.
You know, is it safe to say, DJ, grab the door for us. Is it safe to say that one of the very first line dances that we had going on, he got it, Lateef, was Trans Europe Express.
Yes, Trans Europe Express.
Yeah, that Trans Europe Express used to come on, and I swear that Trans Europe Express used to be on for hours.
Yes.
Yeah, that song got to be about 20 minutes
It's
long.
about like at least 12 minutes. That's a 12-minute song at least.
Yeah, huh?
We not on the air?
Yeah,
Yes, we are.
Doctor walking in and talking about, we on the
Hello,
air.
doctor.
Yes, we
Hello.
on
Just sit down and get comfortable. Get
Yes, we on the
situated.
air.
I was just talking.
Yes, no, we are on the air. We are live. They call this. We really live today. We catching everybody. Look who else walking in the door. We just straight up. Everybody like we're on the air. We're live with everybody. Come on in. Right there is your slot. Have a seat.
Right.
All right. Y'all.
Don't worry, Congresswoman. I just walked in and I was like, we on the air? I didn't even know we was on. I'm sorry.
Yes, we live.
We live.
We are live.
We live, y'all.
Welcome.
We're live. So everybody got a chance to see who's my special guest today. Dr. Burton just announced.
Oh,
it.
I did.
You
Didn't I? Just
announced
busted
it.
out
He just came
everything.
in and just,
Well, you know, I'm still living off my birthday weekend. My birthday was Sunday.
Happy
birthday to me.
Yes.
month.
Yes, you're right. I've been celebrating all month too.
Yes, as you should.
Whose birthday was yesterday? Oh, you know what? DJ
Happy birthday to DJ True.
Lateef.
Yes, his birthday was
DJ
yesterday.
True.
Congresswoman, you hearing well and everything? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, all right, you good. We got Dr. Burton in the house. We having I
It's
guess
the
we can
diggy
say
diggy doctor.
we're going to officially get started with this program now, I guess.
But you didn't hear my nice. You didn't hear that, did you?
The old DOC. It's the diggy diggy doctor.
Right.
You know.
See, I got a
Happy
good
birthday.
intro. That intro might have been better than yours, Uni.
Don't
You know, I'm a hip hop head, so you know.
Right.
We should have had
I'm messing with Uni.
their birthday songs for them because we do have two birthdays in the house. We had DJ True, Lateef's birthday, and Dr. Burton's birthday
Right,
this
your
month.
team.
I got you on the way
so
out
you,
for
you,
sure.
you gotta get them a birthday shout out.
Thank
before we
you.
get out of here, Unicorn.
Thank you.
Let's hook that up if we can.
Absolutely.
So everybody, I got a special guest in the house today because our government is shut down, and I don't know if any of you guys understand what government shutdown mean. I was talking to somebody today, and they actually said they didn't feel that the government was shut down. I said, okay, I got it. You know, so maybe
Can you? I hate to interrupt you, but can you elaborate on that just a little bit more? That they didn't feel.
They said it didn't feel as if the government was shut.
What do they do?
They retired.
Oh, okay.
They retired, and I can see what they're saying. You know, I think if you're out of touch and you're not receiving anything from it, you can almost maybe not knowing the government is shut down now. I think in about a week or so you'll probably start feeling it more and more the more longer it goes. But that's how it is. So without further ado, I want to just introduce one of my buddies came in to help me out this week. I asked her if she'd come in and sit down and talk on the show, and so she did. So without further ado, we want to welcome our Congresswoman, Chantel Brown, to our program.
Thank
Welcome.
you. It's good to be with you.
Oh, always, always. So I saw you out this weekend, and I talked to you, and I said, you know, you should come on the show and I'll let you just rant. I know you mad. I said, I know you mad. Yeah, close the government down and all of this. So I said, I know you got a lot to say.
Mad is an understatement.
You know, so what's going on with you in your world? And then tell us what's happening up there in D.C. and how did we come to this government shutdown?
So let's just start with the fact that when Trump was sworn in January 20th, he has been shutting the government down little by little already. So that has been the order of the day. And he said on the campaign trail that he was going to be a dictator on day one. And I told people, I said, if you know a dictator on day one, they don't usually stop on day one. And so this is what we've been dealing with since January the 20th. So fast forward, you might remember in March, we had a shutdown showdown. And people were a little upset with Schumer because the Senate decided to keep the government open. We remember that? Do you guys remember that? Okay, so fast forward, this summer, the Republicans passed what you may have heard as their one big beautiful bill, which has now become a big ugly law. And I refer to that as bull. It's Republican bull, the big ugly law. And what the big ugly law has done, and that was July 4th that it was signed into law by the president, it has cut $1 trillion to health care. So we're talking Medicare, Medicaid, and the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, tax credits and subsidies. It's the largest health care cut in our nation's history, and that happened in July. And they did this without any negotiations, without any contributions, without any input from the Democrats. They just pushed, they just rammed this bull through, right? They just rammed it through. So that's what we're dealing with right now. So fast forward, September 30th, the last continuing resolution that we passed in March expired. And Democrats have taken the position of saying that, look, all those cuts that you made, we want you to cancel those cuts, because what's going to happen, people's premiums, deductibles, and co-pays are going to skyrocket. We're talking, in some cases, $700 per month. An increase, not the cost, an increase of $700 a month. So if folks have to decide if they're going to pay $700 a month for health care or rent, they're going to forego health care. So that means we're going to have more sick people. We're going to have longer waits in the emergency room. Those costs aren't just going to hit people on Medicare, Medicaid, and receiving the Affordable Care Act subsidies. Insurance companies are going to spread that love around. So that's going to impact all of us. So that's what we are fighting for. We are fighting for the Republicans to cancel the cuts, lower the costs, and we are trying to save health care. So when you think about this, and as a nation as a whole, we're talking over 20 million people that will be directly impacted by this. 500,000 in Ohio and 38,000 in Ohio's 11th congressional district alone. I refuse to let 38,000 people in my district be hit with such a significant increase when costs are already high and it's already hard enough to make ends meet. So that's what this fight is all about. That's what this shutdown is about. Republicans have taken a vacation. They have not been to D.C. in 3 weeks. The last time the House of Representatives was open was September the 19th. Democrats were in D.C. On Monday and Tuesday of last week, demanding that we have a vote. We attempted to go to the floor and call for the government to remain open. The one low Republican that was there shut it down, didn't even let us get to make our motion on the floor. So they are hiding from the American people. They are running away, and they're running scared. Like, this is Donald Trump's and the Republican shutdown. They have been reminding us since January 20th that they got a mandate. They say, we got the House, we have the Senate, and the presidency. Well, if you got it like that, make it happen.
So to that point, and that was one of the questions, and you gave me a math lesson when I asked you to answer, which you're going to have to give all of us one on this. If they got all that control, and that's where they at, then why don't they Why is the government shut down?
So why the government is shut down is because they don't want to negotiate. The Mr. Donald Trump, the art of the business and all of these things, he does not want to negotiate with Leader Schumer's or Leader Jeffries, because what's happened is this is already passed out of the House. They have what's needed in the House is a simple majority. So they got the majority of Republicans. They had the 218 votes they needed to pass it out of the House. In the Senate, they need 60. They only have 53 Republicans in the Senate. So they need 7 Democrats to help them pass this bill. Now we don't rubber stamp for Donald Trump's demands. And so because we realize how harmful their cuts that they made in this big ugly law are going to be, we're refusing to rubber stamp that. So if you want our votes, you're going to have to come to the table and talk to us. You're going to have to negotiate. We're going to have to find some compromise. Now, their thing is, well, we can do it after we open up to the government. And we're like, well, we don't really trust y'all like that. Because you have shown us repeatedly you cannot be trusted.
Yeah, there's no level of trust.
No level of trust. So the trust is gone. So the Democrats have been holding the line to make sure that we protect, again, lower the costs, cancel the cuts, and save Americans' health care. So that is what we are dealing with.
That is wild.
It's wild.
That is
it's wild in these streets, Ken.
So what's the longest shutdown we done had?
In recent history, it was the last time was under
Donald Trump.
Under Donald Trump.
Oh, okay.
35 days.
Okay.
Under Trump.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that speaks volumes.
That's nuts.
That we have government shutdowns under the same president and no one else. And I think that's where I go with the American people not being knowledgeable, recognizing what's happening. But it's interesting as you talk, Congresswoman, and you're giving this explanation. Is the average person is not aware of what's happening.
No.
And that's always my concern. How do we make them aware? Why are we so disconnected? I mean, I know there's a list of whys, the hows, the whats, but the disconnect that we have.
I've been on a professor. Listen, I should be asking you.
But I've been on a rampage. I've really been on a rampage of this whole idealizing around Christianity and Christian nationalism. And so I've been on this rampage of folks jumping on board, but you're so disconnected from what's happening in society and the community that you don't even realize. And I'm not going to go on my rant today, but it puzzles me that we sit in these closets and spaces, just like Ken said earlier, the person that he talked to and said, I don't feel that the government is shut down. Well, it's easy for you to say that because you're living in a retired bubble right now.
Yeah. So I would say this.
But then if your retirement, if you get some Social Security, though, you're not paying attention to what's happening with.
And the Social Security will continue.
It's
but there are
things
exactly new applications and overpayments. Those are going to be delayed. A lot of things will be delayed if you are traveling. I
heard
that this morning. Oh, I got an attitude instantly with that because I got a flight coming up.
So what? The TSA folks?
So the TSA folks are the part of the group that has to continue to work without pay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
Come on, you want to talk about that, Ken?
It's going to have to go to the book on that one.
Don't let this go over our heads.
It's a folks that's working.
People are actually working and not getting paid. Kim, I see you back there, and Kim always said, but I'd be like, Kim, you ain't working. But Kim is actually working and ain't getting paid. I have to take that back, Kim.
There are people that are working without getting
take that back.
paid.
Jesus.
And it's crazy. So I want to make sure I say this correctly. When the government shuts down, federal agencies are required to classify their employees whose salaries have been lapsed or either accepted or not accepted. So they get a classification as accepted or not accepted. The employees classified as accepted work without pay.
Wow.
So like TSA workers, employees classified as not accepted are put on unpaid furlough. And under the Employee Fair Treatment Act of 2019, all employees must be retroactively paid for the duration of the shutdown upon its conclusion. So they will get paid upon the shutdown's conclusion. But right now, as it stands, they are working
Wow.
without pay. And so it's like TSA, military. My office is open because people are in need. And so we can't just, and I represent a district where, we have battled it out between Detroit. It's one of the poorest big cities in the country. And so our 1 in 5 households depend on SNAP in the 11th, with 1 in 3 of them being Black households. We've got a significant population on Medicaid and Medicare. These are real live people. These are not just numbers on a budget. Like the Republicans treat lives like line items on a budget instead of recognizing that these services and programs we provide for the people are actual lifelines.
So when you talk about, and we talk a lot about Donald Trump and his ideology, as well as we talk about J.D. Vance and all of them, the Republicans and the folks that are there, all of this stuff does affect their districts and their people just like us. So they just tune that stuff out and just basically just vote down the line, I guess.
I can't really make sense out of nonsense, Kenny. So I don't know what
I can't get it.
I don't understand. But what I do know is that they lie. And to touch on the doctor's point, we are spoon fed what we like every day on this phone, right? The algorithms will, just continue to feed you what is appealing to you. And that may not necessarily be rooted in fact or reality. Right? And so they're getting constantly fed misinformation, disinformation, and lies. The Republicans are saying that Democrats want to have health care for illegal immigrants, undocumented immigrants, and that is not the case. We do not want that. We want to protect hardworking American citizens. That is what this fight is all about. But if you listen to other entities, they will tell you otherwise.
But if they know that's a lie, and they know they're lying,
who knows? Who knows?
The people who's saying it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right, the people who know, if they know they're saying a lie, and it's not really going to help my people, but I'm going to do it anyway. How they're getting reelected is my point. How is the people in those districts who suffer in the same way as the people in our districts allowing these folks to come back year after year?
Well, that's a good question for Ohioans because we have been a Republican-dominated state since 2010, right?
Right.
And I don't understand why we continue to let these corrupt politicians who are constantly trying to figure out ways to empower and embolden themselves, even down to right now we're dealing with the issue of gerrymandering.
We're going to get into that. Really.
They're trying to redraw our seats just so they can hold on to power.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I think that they have done a masterful job of the blame game, placing fault on Democrats, even though they are the ones in control. So, and as a Democrat, we have to take some responsibility. Our message is maybe perhaps not as succinct and simple for them to digest and appreciate the work that we are doing, the work that we are attempting to do to make the quality of their lives better. But I don't understand it myself. I mean, it's just an environment where lies are accepted as the truth.
And I also think that when it comes to Republicans and people who vote Republican, is that they vote Republican on certain principles. So it doesn't matter all the other stuff.
It's one issue voters. There might be a single issue.
It doesn't matter. Unlike Democrats, we get mad on the one issue and we gonna jump shit. Be like, you ain't doing
the purity test.
Right. Compared to them, is that it doesn't matter if you supporting the one thing that I want, and typically what tends to happen, and especially when we talking about Ohio and these southern borders and all of this, is that all we got is a sign that says Christianity and Jesus and abortion and being against LGBT, and we're gonna fight. We're gonna vote Republican because we standing on those two principles. And so we forget about all the other liberation that needs to happen within the community. But I think that's one of the reasons. And so, and it's also easy to, I heard Marcus Cosby, preacher out of Texas, say, just this past Sunday. He said, we don't have to teach people to lie.
You don't.
If you think about a child, you never teach a child how to lie.
That's
now,
correct.
you hope when a child grows up, they stop lying.
Right.
But a child can have candy, and they like, did you eat that candy? No, I didn't. And chocolate running from their mouth.
Right.
And so you don't teach people to lie. And so lying becomes a habit for some folks.
Correct.
To make the justification for why I do what I do.
And they just believe it.
Yeah, and then the other thing that the Congresswoman said, and I think that's another thing that we never talk about, is understanding the differences between Republican and Democrats as a whole versus individualism. And when you look at Republican parties, and she made the statement of the bottom line, is they focus on this whole, and we used to say this theoretically, this whole business mindset, that it's about the bottom line, whereas Democrats are looking at this whole public mindset, is that it's about the people.
Right.
And when you have people, you can't find one right way. Is that it's how do we make sure that everybody is benefiting? Whereas if you're looking at the bottom line, all we thinking about is
Bottom
the dollar.
line.
The numbers.
Bottom
That's
line.
it. And so human caring, human whatever, does not come
Compassion,
into human compassion. I couldn't think of
humanity,
a word. Right.
all
Does
of
not
that.
come into play.
Yeah, empathy.
Yep.
So I would also add, there's a very famous saying that, Republicans fall in line and Democrats fall in love. And so, we have to,
That's so doggone true.
yeah, it's like we
We need to stop loving.
That's so true.
We gonna have to change the motto.
Yeah, but that's what they do. They fall in line, and,
Right.
and they hold they
hold it.
they like you can tell them that banana is red. They're gonna be like, that banana is red. You're like, that banana is yellow. They be like, banana's red, and everybody be like, banana's
Right.
red. Banana is red. The banana
Right.
is red. And Republicans be like, banana's red. And Democrats will be like, no, well, it's not really red. It's actually yellow,
Yeah.
and it's kind of a yellow that's like and then we go into
We're
all
gonna go into the whole explanation of the yellow.
Right.
It's a little tainted
It-
yellow.
Yeah.
It could be green. Sometimes it's green, and sometimes it's brown.
Yeah.
But
It's a
not.
diversified
It's
banana.
a diversified banana, and we like the bananas. And we like them, but the
Yeah.
Republicans are like, the banana is red, and you're like, I know this banana is red.
Yeah, and that's what you're seeing.
Right.
And I didn't never thought about it that way, but you are
Yeah.
seeing the
Yeah.
falling in line.
Yes.
I have never seen anything like it.
It's
It's
insane.
amazing.
Hey, here's the perfect example. Perfect example was the Charlie Kirk funeral. And we talked about that in the beginning. When you talk about falling in line, you saw them all get in line and stood up there on stage and calling this man a martyr and all the other stuff. They're getting in line. That's why I told Chantel, I told them that the revolution was just televised.
I didn't watch.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either,
I
but
didn't
it
watch
was.
it. I ain't listened.
I
I haven't scrolled, and I try to
I was
ignore
gonna say,
all
me
comments.
too.
Yeah, I try to do the same thing. Hey, I want to see before we move on, because I want to transition into redistricting. What do you want to tell the folks before we transition about the shutdown? Anything last thing you
Yes,
want to tell
yes,
them?
yes,
Anything?
yes.
I
I
want
wanna
to make sure
let-
we cover it.
I want them to know I am having a telephone town hall tomorrow.
Excellent.
And so you can listen and learn about the shutdown. I'll be on to answer your questions. That telephone town hall is tomorrow, which is October. What's tomorrow's date, y'all? October the 8th. And very simply put, you can go to chantelbrown.house.gov to register. It's on the front page. We're going to talk about the spikes in healthcare and the open enrollment, which begins November 1st. And the town hall will start at 6 p.m. tomorrow night. So please go to Chantel Brown. That's SHONTELBROWN.house.gov to register. It's on the front page.
They still working.
We still working, y'all.
Still working.
For the people.
And that's the thing. You know, we applaud you.
Oh, give her the
Thank
applause,
you.
Jenna. We
Thank
got the
you.
applause, Jenna.
Applauding.
There
I
we
love
go.
y'all.
There
Thank
you
you.
go, there you go, there
We
you
do
go.
it for the people.
Yeah.
Good for
And you
the
think
people.
about working with no pay, but then you still got to have the same drive, the same fight,
Exactly.
and do for the people.
So speaking about the people, they trying to put you with a whole bunch of other people these days. They trying to redistrict
trying.
your district. Now, every year or every few years we go through this. It seems like you just did it. And we're back at it again. They're gerrymandering these maps to try to eliminate a few congressional leaders. And I guess if some people had heard, haven't been paying attention to what's here locally. If you heard nationally, you might have heard when the president said, hey, we need more seats in Texas. We need you guys to make it so we have more Republican seats in Texas. Well, that same thing is ringing all across the country and other states as well. And before the president even made his mandate on it, they've been doing these type of things, and people have been fighting over it and fighting for it for years. And so we're back at a point where now they're looking to change the congressional district once again and move, as we say, moving the goalposts. They're going to move the goalposts a little bit further and take you a little farther west. So you want to give us an update on what's happening with you and your transition as you battle to maintain our congresswoman in a predominantly African-American district, which is the big thing.
Republicans are up to their same old tricks. If you can't beat them, cheat them. That's what they do. That's what they do. I mean, Donald Trump did it in 2020. He called Georgia. He was like, hey, I need 11,890 something votes so I can get this election. He's done this before.
Yes, he has.
So this is nothing new.
That's correct.
This is nothing new. So he did it with Texas. He said, hey, I need 5 congressional seats. And I guess I should rewind a little bit, because how did we get here?
Right.
So historically,
Your shirt. That's how we got here. Your shirt
right. But did you vote?
Well, did you vote? Yeah, there you go.
Historically, the party in control loses the midterms. So Republicans are in control. So historically, traditionally, by the time the midterms come, they lose power.
Okay.
Right? So what we are experiencing right now is Donald Trump trying to prevent history from repeating itself. They know that they are losing on the issue of healthcare. They know this big ugly law is doing far more damage to people, and a lot of the things that they have proposed in the big ugly law don't kick in until after 2026, next year.
Next year, okay.
But the fact of the matter is, it's already having impact. So they didn't anticipate some of these early results or early impacts happening on people, like right here in Cleveland, the Planned Parenthood on Chester closed because of some of Trump's cuts. We saw a couple months ago, I think it was August, Metro Health announced 125 people laid off because hospitals, agencies, organizations, they're planning for 2026 right now. They can't wait until the cuts actually happen. So they're starting to lay off people right now in preparation for the things that are to come. So Trump knows that this is happening. And so he knows that Democrats are in a position to be able to win back the House. And if we win back the House, we can put some guardrails on some of the things that he's doing right now. And he does not want that because, again, this is a little Trump the tyrant, the little dictator who said he wants to be a dictator on day one, has far exceeded his day one dictatorship. He is just doing everything that he can to terminate the Constitution, which is something he also said. So we need to take him seriously on some of these things. And we just like, oh, it's just Trump being Trump. Like, no, Trump is out here going through Project 25 line by line to execute this resegregation agenda, right? Okay, so he reached out to the Texas folks, and they caved. They said, okay, well, yes, sir, we'll get you your 5 seats. And so Gavin Newsom said, oh no, we're not gonna let y'all play this game. We coming for you too. So there's an issue in California right now called Prop 50 that is to give them the authorization to gerrymander, if you will, to counter this 5 seats pickup that Trump is expecting to get from Texas. Because remember, this is the slimmest majority in our nation's history. On any given day, it's like 2-3 votes that separate the Republican majority from Democrats. You know, a banana peel, anything could change the tide on these votes. And so we've actually had a new member elected in a special election, Adelina Grijalva from Arizona. She would be the 218th signature on the Epstein files that we.
Oh,
need.
I, when you were sitting there saying, I said, is she talking about that Epstein lady? That is her.
Yeah. So she. So
Hold on.
Grijalva, they won't even swear her in.
But did my man threaten to release something crazy on the speaker if that came through or not?
I saw that on the internet. I'm not as familiar, but what I do know is that we have a member, the duly elected member of Congress that has not been sworn in.
Wow.
Because they don't. I'm assuming they don't want her to sign.
That's what
this discharge petition because
we can we'll make the assumption for you.
Okay, allegedly. Okay, so the discharge position would force a vote on the floor of the Epstein files, and so once she gets sworn in, and so they shut the government down for summer recess, if you will, early, over it, and now they haven't been back in session again since September 19th. They are running. I don't know, Kenny. Don't ask me. I don't know.
We ain't gonna never swear in.
I don't know. I don't know what they doing.
They gonna keep trying different stuff.
I don't know what they doing.
Wow.
So yeah, they're crazy.
My man released the grinder file.
So back to the gerrymandering. So this is happening across the country. They are going through, and it's in all seriousness, the issue is they're also putting targets on black seats.
More importantly, yes.
Yeah. So they're targeting black seats across the country. The seats, black and brown, the seats in Texas are occupied. That they're targeting. The Democratic seats are occupied by black and brown people, my colleagues. And they're doing the same thing here in Ohio. We know that there have been multiple citizen-led initiatives in Ohio that said stop the gerrymandering that people have voted for. And these Republicans keep saying, nah. And so the gerrymandering ultimately would say politicians do not get to pick their voters, but the voters get to pick their politicians. That's what democracy is about. But these Republicans,
supposedly,
that's what's supposed to be about. But these Republicans here in Ohio want to draw the map in such a way that we would no longer have 5 Democrats in Congress, that we would only have 2. And this is really a 55-45 state, like 55% Republican, 45% Democrat. So if the numbers were reflective of that, we'd have 8 Republicans and 7 Democrats. That's what the map should shake out to be. But as it stands right now, we have 10 Republicans and 5 Democrats. Now the record should reflect the map that we currently have was expected to be a 13-2 map. They did not expect Amelia Sykes, Greg Landsman, or Marcy Kaptur to win. But Amelia Sykes overperformed. Greg Landsman beat an incumbent, so he flipped a Republican seat to be Democrat. And Marcy Kaptur is the GOAT. I'm telling you, every time they count her out, she shows them they don't know how to count. This lady they have drawn maps so crazy for her, and she keeps coming out on top. And the other thing is, she is absolutely amazing to me because she is the longest serving woman in the history of Congress, both chambers, in the Senate and the House. And she is as sharp, as with it, as on top of things as anybody could expect of her. So she will run circles around anybody, and her energy is amazing. So same is true with Amelia Sykes. Amelia, they thought that they were going to just draw her this map, and she has probably the most 50-50 split map in the country. So I think the outcome of the presidential election between Harris and Trump was a difference of 150 something votes. Like it's that close. It's that close. So
when they get into this redistricting and picking out these maps and that kind of thing, are you worried about them diminishing your African American base in the process of doing that, or you believe that the 11th congressional district is kind of cut up in a manner in which you think you'd be safe?
I wish they would keep it the same. And this is not an environment where anyone is safe. This is very much anything can happen environment. I mean, from some of the highest ranking Democrats have lost elections, due to just unexpected outcomes. Notably, Joe Crawley, I was county party chair. I think it was 2018, and he was our keynote speaker. Fourth highest ranking Democrat in the country at the time. And a young Latino lady took him out by the name of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And so you can't take anything for granted in this environment. So I am that is why we make ourselves available and continue to do the work. So no, I don't think there's anything safe about the seats that we're in. The seats belong to the people to start with. I should start there. So I'm here as long as they will have me, and I'm happy to serve. But if they should have it in their wishes to elect somebody else, then it will be that person's seat. So I think that, the thing that I appreciate about the legacy of the seat, plug for the legacy event happening October the 10th. That's also coming up on Friday. But the legacy of the seat would not be, the seat would not exist if it were not for Lou Stokes demanding that we have reflective representation in our government. And so that legacy I do honor and respect and would like for it to continue. But it should, but I'm comfortable if it changes in a way where it is not no longer a majority minority district. I don't want it to be that way, but I do think it's important we have majority minority districts so that we can continue to have voices that represent the people, the diversity of this country. And but under this Trump administration and his resegregation agenda, that is a potential loss of reality that we face.
I understand. Doc, you got a question for me before we let her get out of here?
So for the audience and me as well, so the clarifying of the redistricting, what are they trying to change, what areas and where, so that folks can be aware and know, even though we say no? Okay,
so they're trying to change the Democratic seats to become more Republican. Democrats have put forth a map that does the opposite, but essentially the entire state of Ohio is going to be reconfigured in a way that they will hopefully eliminate 3 of the Democratic seats and only end up with 2. And the 2 that are most likely to remain are the one in the one in northern Cuyahoga County, Northeast Ohio, Cuyahoga County. Sometimes they go down to Summit, so Northeast Ohio is what they've done in the past, and then Columbus. And so that would most likely end up being Congresswoman Joyce Beatty, another big goat. Sister, another goat. Love and adore her, and potentially the 11th congressional district where I proudly represent. So we don't know what those maps are going to be. They have until the end of November, which is they will kick the can to the end of November, because the maps that they present at the end of November are the ones where they only need a simple majority. That's the long and short of it. They're going through a process right now, which is really, I would describe it as a facade to say that they're trying to get to a more agreeable map. So what we can do, and what we're going to have to do, is probably a referendum to make sure that we just keep the maps the way they are, because they're competitive. They're more competitive than they expected them to be. And this is something that we shouldn't be doing right now. This is something that typically only happens every 10 years.
And that's what I was going to ask, because this typically happens with the census.
That's right.
And every 10 years. So what is the justification? I guess, is there a law, a policy to say when you can and when you cannot do gerrymandering? I know we under a whole nother administration and we do stuff whenever we want to do stuff, or they do stuff whenever they want to do stuff. I don't want to say we in the first person pronoun. But they do stuff whenever they want to do stuff. I want to clarify the they versus the we. The they. And so when you see stuff like this, that this is things that are supposed to happen every 10 years. Even I want to go back to Texas and the whole idea of racial gerrymandering, and nobody wants to say that it's racialized in Texas. Are we dealing with the same thing here in Ohio? Is it from this racial lens in terms of? I'm listening to audience.
Let me just say.
I'm about to say yes.
But yet again, no one wants to put that in front of gerrymandering.
No. And
then we sit and talk about the redistricting, but we know it's from this lens that we also know is illegal.
Yes. So there are a couple different things happening. Elections are elections are run by the state. So every state has different laws on what they can and cannot do. And so that's why Texas doesn't have any, I guess, guardrails or laws that said you can't do this. And so when they were asked, why are you doing this now? Like, y'all ain't supposed to do this until every 10 years. I said, because we can. They said the quiet part are loud. They said, because we can.
Okay.
Ohio. Oh, let me go back to California. California can do it with the support of the voters. So they put their referendum on the ballot, if you will.
Okay.
So that's Prop 50. So they have their thing on the ballot that says, "Hey, let us get back in Texas." And then California, like, "All right, that's what we gonna do. We got y'all, right?" So that's what they doing. And so in Ohio, we had citizen-led initiatives. So people, you may remember, got a bunch of signatures around the state to say in the gerrymandering. And so this is part of that. And they said in the gerrymandering, get a commission that is nonpartisan to be able to draw these maps more fairly. So that's what we're dealing with, but they're not doing what the citizens voted for. So we have had, I think that was the second time. We had one before. So so we've had a couple of these attempts led by the people. But the Republicans continue to ignore the people.
That's
and do
what
whatever,
I keep saying.
do whatever they want. They just do whatever they want. They're like, okay, we heard you, but no.
And then y'all were
twice
voting for
them.
them.
But we didn't hear you.
We heard you, but no.
Well, no.
But no. We're not doing that.
Well, Congresswoman, I know Kim over here keep kicking my chair. So I'm going to go ahead and...
I love talking to you.
We got to let the Congresswoman go.
I got to go.
Do you?
Early voting has started.
Yeah,
Shout out to early voting.
We're giving you the last 3-4 minutes. Say what you're going to say before you get out of here.
Okay,
Talk about legacy, anything else we missing. Go ahead.
All right, early voting started. You do not have to wait until so-called election day. I'm going to vote. Early voting starts today. I'm going to go cast my ballot at the new Board of Elections. And nothing is really new in Cleveland. It's the old plain dealer, but it's the new Board of Elections, right? So we're going to the new Board of Elections, which is the old plain dealer, right? Okay, so that's where I'm about to go. Tomorrow, if you want to know more about the shutdown, again, visit chantelbrown.house.gov, sign up on my website. And
what time is that?
That is at 6 p.m. Thank you, Doctor. 6 p.m. Shutdown conversation with Congresswoman Chantel Brown. It will be a telephone town hall. If you don't want to do the telephone town hall, I think we will have our Facebook page up and you can listen or watch via Facebook. 6 o'clock tomorrow. And then we are having our third annual Legacy Celebration. This is an event that we do to give back to the community. It's free to the general public. All we ask is that you wear all black attire. It makes for an amazing looking event and the pictures come out even more beautiful. But it is where we celebrate my predecessors. We celebrate Louis Stokes, Stephanie Tubbs Jones, and Marsha L. Fudge by giving scholarships to adult learners in their name. And adult learners is very important and specific to me because I was a non-traditional student. When I graduated from high school, I entered the workforce and did not get my degree, my bachelor's degree, until 2022. I was a member of Congress, and so it was a struggle. I did did a little bit here, did a little bit there, over the years, and so I finally made that happen. So I know how hard it is for adult learners, but I also want them to remain encouraged and let them know that they can get that done if that is their desire. So that is it. That's what I'm doing. Catch me outside. I'm still working. We doing what we do. So
we appreciate you.
Oh, and the legacy event is at the convention center. 7 o'clock is when it starts. It's from 7 to 10. We have a small program again where we honor our scholarship recipients and recognize elected officials. But it's really just a good time. There's free food, good music, and lots of fun. So tomorrow, Teletown Hall, Friday, legacy event at the convention center.
All right, that's Congresswoman Chantel Brown in the house.
Yes. Voting today.
And she's voting today, y'all.
Right now. At the new Board of Elections.
The new Board of Elections. The old plain dealer.
Love y'all.
See y'all there.
Love you too.
Hey, we're going to take a quick old break, and when we get back, we're going to have Dr. Burton with the closing remarks, and we're out of here this week.
What's up, Cleveland? It's time to turn up the conversation. Tune in to the Strategic Moves with Kenn Dowell radio show for What's on Your Mind Tuesdays. Call in, comment, and connect on 95.9 FM WOVU, WOVU.org, and hit us up on social media.
Support for WOVU comes from the Alzheimer's Association.
In the fight against Alzheimer's, now matters more than ever. Because now we have treatments that could change everything. But now is no time to stop. Now we've got momentum, so now we use it. Now we seize the moment. Now we turn the tide. Now we make a difference and make some noise. Now is the time to get up, get out, and join the movement. At the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer's, held in over 600 communities nationwide, and we need you with us. Because now is the time for hope. Join the fight at alz.org/walk.
What's on your mind this Tuesday, Cleveland? Let's talk art, culture, politics, and business on the Strategic Moves with Kenn Dowell radio show. Call us on 95.9 FM WOVU. Stream live at WOVU.org or comment on our social media. Let's hear from you.
All right, we're back. There it is with Congresswoman Shontel Brown. I want to thank her for coming in on our program, enlightening us, and giving us information that we need in order to move forward. Doctor, what did you get from all of that?
Well, what I got was there is a lot to know, a lot to learn, and for reasons that we need to stay engaged. When you listen, and I think that's the other thing is listening.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Is listening to Congresswoman Brown is just knowing specifics that we often miss because we're so busy talking, and that we miss the specifics of what's happening around and understanding how government affects us. And as she was talking about health insurance, is one of the things that I'm dealing with now. Mm-hmm. Is that when you think about the cost of health insurance going up for somebody who pays out of pocket, who does not pay, you ain't got a job that's paying part of your benefits or anything like that. Mm-hmm. That's real.
Oh, that's real.
It's
that's
real.
Really real. And I hear people talk about that all the time, and I sit back and just really be like, wow, this healthcare thing. I have friends of mine who's paying thousands of dollars a month for just healthcare, man, and it's just ridiculous on how they're doing it, and they're trying to cut it. I mean, geez, I just don't understand how just those people in those rooms can say, let me cut this stuff and walk out the door, and everybody else out there like, because you just cut us out, man.
Yeah, because
they walk away
them.
like, I mean, good Lord.
I keep going back to the person who said, I don't feel that the government is shut down.
All right. When
you live in your own bubble, and if healthcare doesn't affect you, and you're not thinking about the masses that healthcare actually affects, or you have never had a terminal illness and been without healthcare, or you've never had a diagnosis that was missed, or not been able to go to the doctor, you don't realize the benefits of healthcare until you don't have it. And so they still walking around with healthcare. And so
they say it didn't bother them.
It's not. And their family members. I keep going back. What was a eye opener was when we did that conversation on Black conservatism. Yeah. And we watched that video with Amanda Seals. Yeah. And how many of them spoke from individual. And I say this all the time. When you live as an individual and you don't think about the people that are in your community, and when I say community, just in your family. Right. Let's just think, hopefully y'all got some healthy family relationships. But just thinking about who in your family, you don't think about what they may be dealing with. Correct. It's easy to ignore.
It's easy to ignore, and they do a lot of it. I mean, I'm like, man, because some of these guys are not all living and represent rich districts.
Yeah, not at all.
Not at all. I mean, their districts is just as poor as Cleveland and some of these other places, and I just don't.
And then they're brainwashed.
That racism got to be that deep.
Yeah, and then they're brainwashed to believe it's not my community. This stuff is only going to affect that community. And I also think, so now this is, as I say, a Dr. Burtonism. It might be one of those things, too, is that they're representing their communities, but they haven't engaged with their communities. So they don't really know the real data. They don't really know the real information of how their community actually is being impacted. We get in positions and we don't know the work.
No, that's true, because this the same group of people that when they were getting the complaints, they told them stop having the meetings.
Yeah.
They was like, "What are you having meetings for?"
Right.
They was like, "Well, they complaining in the district about what you're saying." They were like, "Well, why the hell y'all having
They
meetings?"
not answering the phone from constituents.
You know, it's just really wild out here. I just don't get it. I'm really taken back by all what's going on. I hope Donald Trump don't try to break his record. And this is what's scary about it. And I meant to ask the Congresswoman about this part, is that when we do go on government shutdown, it gives him the ability to fire people. Now he has the ability to go into government and say, you know what, we're spending too much money here. We was on shutdown, so I had to lay off Latif's whole department. I had to lay off this whole department over here. So he gives an opportunity to really do some damage.
Yeah.
And that's the part that, right. Now, last time he did 34 days, and one would say that he was a compassionate Donald Trump then.
Well, he was a Donald Trump that was looking for re-election.
Right. This
I don't
Donald
even think
Trump,
he was really compassionate then. It was that I just got to play the game so I can be re-elected again.
That's his compassion. That is about as compassionate as it gets for him. Now, this is that unadulterated, uncensored, everything you want to get from a president, and
I'm going to do what I want to do,
how
I want to
do it. And I think this is going to be scary.
Yeah,
it's
scary already.
Yeah.
It really is scary already.
Yeah.
But the Congresswoman said, and when we talked about that earlier, is that when you look at Donald Trump, or when you look at this, the government shutdowns, our two government shutdowns happen under the same president. We have to ask the question why. It's like a baby that you didn't give a bottle to, and I'm mad, so I'm about to pout.
Uni, you got our birthday jam together for us.
Okay,
we gotta get up out of here. Give this shout out goes out to everybody who has a birthday coming up in this month, and it starts right now. Go ahead, Uni, hit us with it. Oh, you told me keep talking. I'm gonna keep talking. Well, this going out to everybody who has a birthday. Shout out to DJ True, Dr. Heather Burton in the month of October, and if your birthday, this is out for you. Happy birthday to everyone. Oh, and Junie did not have. You know what? She came up and a commercial came on. Here we go.
WOVU LP, Cleveland.